A massive super eruption about 75,000 years ago on the island of Sumatra could match the timing of a dramatic human genetic bottleneck. From a worldwide population in the hundreds of thousands, our entire race may have been sustained by a small band of just a few thousand. But how could a natural disaster in Southeast Asia threaten human development across other continents? The Toba supereruption would have triggered a series of deadly hazards. Close to the volcano, the effects would have been apocalyptic. Imagine pyroclastic flows, superheated avalanches of volcanic material. They wipe out an area of more than 7,000 square miles of Sumatra. They vaporize anyone in their path. They extinguish all signs of life across the width of this vast island. An eruptive column up to 50 miles high ejected more than 200 cubic miles of ash into the atmosphere.
Yellowstone in northwest Wyoming, land of geysers, mountains, and lakes, is also sitting atop a super volcano. And it just took what scientists describe as a deep breath, causing miles of ground to rise dramatically. So what does this mean?
When it grows, it could destroy the United States as we know it.
All right, so when we talk about this, we have pictures of Mount St. Helens erupting back in 1980. Let's just show this right now. You say that an explosion with this super volcano under Yellowstone, and there we're seeing the Mount St. Helens, would be 1,000 times bigger than this. What type of damage are we talking about?
We're talking about immediate damage out to 100 miles from the site, a total devastation, basically wiping out everything in sight. However, the real damage goes up to 500 miles between the volcanic ash, poisonous gases, death of wildlife vegetation, and that's a ring about 1,000 miles across. That's the heartline of America. It will wipe out the United States as we know it. And again, we don't want to panic anybody. It could happen tomorrow, or it could happen 100,000 years from now. It's black magic trying to predict exactly when it's going to blow, but we do know one thing. One day, it will blow. All you can do is run. You don't get much warning. What happened is the ground starts to rise, more and more earthquakes take place, more ash and volcanic gases start to be unleashed. That's about the only warning we get, because we do not have a good way to predict volcanic eruptions.
It's amazing. So you say it could be tomorrow, it could be in 100,000 years, but it's under there.
It will destroy North America as we know it.
Now, using historical records, scientific models, and the latest in computer technology, you will witness the devastation that follows when the giant volcano of Yellowstone erupts. The force of the Earth's gravity is weaker at Yellowstone due to the hot water and molten rock below the surface. For 70,000 years, the Yellowstone volcano has remained quiet. But sooner or later, its magma chamber will slowly fill with millions of tons of molten rock. Gas pressures will push up toward the surface, bringing the volcano to the breaking point.
This is one of the rules of geology that happened in the past that'll happen again in the future. We know there are going to be super eruptions, and probably one at Yellowstone, and it's going to have catastrophic effects.
Earth has just been visited by the perfect solar storm.
The sun kicked up this just incredible solar flare and a massive amount of energy headed towards Earth.
Not only was this storm one of the two most powerful on record, it was also one of the fastest. Ejecting from a sunspot aimed directly at Earth, it raced from the sun to our planet in less than 18 hours.
Now it takes a really fast rocket ship years to get to the sun. This storm, this cloud of electrified particles, managed to get here in less than a day. That's incredibly fast.
Fortunately, the perfect solar storm took place in 1859, when the only technology vulnerable to the onslaught was the telegraph. Since the era in which we have become dependent on high technology, we've yet to see another perfect solar storm. The question remains, could it happen again?
What if we have another one like that? Can we have another perfect storm? Well, I'd say yes, we can. There's no doubt about that. The effects that would be on us today compared to 1859 could be devastating.
The effects on Earth and on our communication systems, we don't exactly know. That's the scary part.
It's likely that our modern technologies would be battered like beachfront houses during a hurricane. Imagine if we lost all the satellites that relay cell phone calls, television signals, and bank transactions. And what if, at the same time, the failure of power grids cascaded whole regions into darkness for hours or weeks? If these essential services couldn't be restored quickly, chaos wouldn't be far behind.
It would definitely be a ripple effect upon society and every man and woman and child that lives on this earth.
Solar storms can be as hard to predict as hurricanes. While forecasters lack the technology to foretell the next perfect storm, they do know that one would be more likely to hit at the peak of the sun's 11-year sunspot cycle.
What happens is the sun reverses the direction of its magnetic field every 11 years.